Hello and welcome to the Grow Landscapers 10-minute business tips series, a show that gives you bite-sized nuggets of wisdom in just 10 minutes. I'm Nick Ruddle and today's guest is award-winning garden designer Karen McClure. How are you doing, Karen?
I'm good, thanks, Nick. Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure. I've known you for many, 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 many years now, and
Yeah, indeed.
really, really nice to have you on because I've seen your progress over the years, and I think people can benefit greatly from your experience, highs and lows and ups and downs, and all the wonderful awards and everything else that you've achieved over the years. So, as you know, I've got a little stopwatch here. I'm going to start the timer, and then we'll get cracking. So, what is your first tip of your first three tips?
Yeah, so I mean, let's go. So the first one would be to look back over your team's successes. So we use the first week of January to start, the fresh start to the year to review how we did in the previous year. In various areas of the business. So we might focus on the kind of normal setting goals, reviewing efficiency and revenue and things, but it's very easy to constantly be thinking and looking ahead and seeing what you should be achieving and then giving yourself kind of more pressure as well. So we take the time to acknowledge our achievements from the previous year. So, stop, give yourself a pat on the back and look at the little steps that you've made that kind of build up those giant leaps. They don't all need to be about, monetary achievements either. So we run a work experience program every year, and it's really good to reflect on, how your team, nurtured perhaps a student along and gave them an introduction to the industry and the business. And, that all takes time and effort from the team. And sometimes it's easy when you're in the thick of, the day-to-day with clients to not reflect back on some of those other parts of the business. Your business is a vehicle for quite a lot of different things. So we help a local charity called Pickering, and it's good to just acknowledge all those other achievements that you're making within the business as well.
Yeah, definitely not always about the money, is it? It's about giving back. It's about showing gratitude, appreciating what you've achieved, celebrate those wins because that makes you feel good, doesn't it? It makes you spurs you on to want to do more
Yeah,
good
I mean,
things.
we kind of look at it like an alignment type session.
Yeah,
And also you can pick out elements from the business that perhaps you're not making money on, or it might be that you had a particularly challenging client or project and you worked around different strategies to kind of turn a negative into a positive. So that's all feeding into your customer service and
yeah,
improving your customer service. And just to kind of finish off on that point, we usually do that in January, because if you've put your out of office on your email, to tell people that you're off over the Christmas period, you can just extend that time so that when
yeah.
your team start back, you've got that time to focus on the team individuals rather than straight into client work. And it just makes for a really positive start to the year.
Yeah. Planning, I think that's the perfect time, isn't it? Really, beginning of the year, maybe you've done a bit of that planning prior to breaking up, and then you come back fresh, and recharge, raring to go, and then just taking stock of where you are. A 12-month period is a nice, clear amount of time to plan for realistically. So
Yeah,
excellent.
before you know it, you've just gone your full pelt into kind of clients and new work and
That's it, and the
business,
madness
so
begins
it's
again.
just
Yeah.
really nice to take that time before you quite kind of, you're sort of off again.
Yeah, yeah, especially because you're a few months away from crazy season again, aren't you? Sort of going into
Absolutely.
spring, summer, and then before you know it, you're halfway through the year, like we are now.
Indeed.
It's crazy. So, excellent, really good. Not That's not one I've had so far, so I'm really pleased that you said that. Okay, cool. Number two of your tips.
So yeah, this one's around cultivating a positive mindset. Positivity doesn't always come easy, and the overwhelm of running a business can sometimes mean that you lose track of your positivity. And it's really important to work on that for the resilience you need to run a business. So you can, I mean, myself, I can worry about 100 things every day, and you're also trying to learn new skills. Many of my friends work in, large organizations, and there's always someone at the end of a telephone, a HR department, an IT department, legal. So, you're trying to manage all these things, trying to learn them all. So make steps to work on your mental health, and that mindset. So you're juggling an awful lot in that precious head of yours. So some of the things I would do to help my mood and my mindset would be listening to podcasts. I think they're the best invention ever. And try and focus on those positive kind of influences. You know, we can fall into the trap of doom scrolling your way through all sorts of you know, things on Instagram. Fashion and cats is, you know, one I sometimes fall into that trap of, but I'm aware that, you know, let's try and make sure we're focused on you know, the positive kind of messages that are out there. Your podcast is a brilliant example of that. You know, you're showcasing business owners, and you can't beat listening to that entrepreneur's journey, and, you know, hearing their vulnerability, because it just makes you feel, you know, less alone. So podcasts are fantastic. Mel Robbins, I listen to her as well. She's an American motivational kind of speaker and life coach. Does some great workshops, all free, you know, on sort of various different ways you can kind of listen to them.
Mm.
And you know, just helps to keep those kind of energy levels topped up. And just reading as well. There's a local author called Simon Core, and he's just written a book called The Founder's Legacy. I'm
Right.
just reading it at the moment, and what I love about the book is that it's all of his experience condensed kind of into a self-help book. So there's lots of tips in there. You know, you can take your highlighter to it. It's really valuable insights to running a business, and sort of self-reflection questions as well. So it's a really, really good book.
Mm. I think you know, managing yourself and your mindset and your mental health is so, so important, because you know, if your thoughts control your feelings, and if you and your feelings control your actions. So whatever you're thinking, you know, they control your feelings. And if you're thinking negative, you're going to feel negative, therefore you're going to do negative. So I think
Mm.
managing that and building that resilience, and the first few years of building a business, you know, like you said, you've got every single hat on: your HR, your sales, your marketing, your recruitment, your absolutely everything accounts. And there's a lot to learn, isn't there? So you know, navigating yourself through those
Yeah,
ups and
yeah,
downs
you
and
know,
the failures.
you're not born a business owner, are you, or an
No,
entrepreneur? So,
no.
or even a garden designer or a landscape you know, sort of business owner. So, you know, there's
Mm.
lots of resources that you can help to kind of feed into that positivity. And we do a lot of hybrid working as well. So I think this is a great one to help mindset. So if my team can work flexibly, you know, if they don't have to come into the studio, they can work from home. It's better for them. They've got more time for their personal life. So that's another big success as
Yeah,
well, you know.
yeah.
And then your own preparation. So we tend to send on, one of the team on a Sunday evening sends a really brief email about the week ahead. And it might just do a brief recap of kind of what we've got going on, any major site visits or any travel that's needed, any commitments that we kind of need to make sure we've, you know, might just be sending a little holding email to a client because we haven't quite got back to them. So it's just a little overview summary that makes us all, you know, professional, organized. And again, that really helps me because my mind just kind of spirals on a Sunday evening thinking about, you know, what's
Yeah.
kind of going ahead on that week. So we're managing about 18 live projects at the moment for a small team. That's quite a lot. So again, the kind of preparation can really help you organize yourself better. And for me, that, you know, helps with my mindset. And then I guess just finally on that point, it's working to your own agenda sometimes. So we were just talking about this actually, Nick, with, you know, having a set day that's kind of for you. So I'm quite an early bird and was the worst at just getting straight up to work, and, you know, silly o'clock in the morning, working all hours. I still do sometimes, but it's more of a balance. So my day on a Friday starts with like a boxing class that I go to. It's my non-negotiable, absolutely love it. Makes me
Mm.
a calmer, more kind of level-headed person. And I think it's important for your team to see that as well, that, you know, you do prioritize your health and your fitness, because that all creates and kind of feeds into that positive mindset.
Yeah, yeah. It's safer for everyone else if you're getting all your boxing, your punching out first thing in the morning anyway. So
Yeah,
then
no,
no one's at
exactly.
risk then.
Yeah,
But yeah, I think again, coming back to your planning your weeks, that's so important, you know, especially when you've got 18 projects on. I mean, that's a lot of things to remember. So the more organized you are, the less things become urgent. You can sort of
yeah.
foresee things, don't you? And you feel like you're in control as opposed to reactive.
Yeah,
So
and I know
planning
that
is so important.
you help a lot with this. I know with your coaching, where you're helping companies to set up stages and processes. And again, that, you know, that to me massively ties into the mindset, because it just makes you feel more organized. You've got structure. It avoids you, you know, having some of those kind of near misses and dodging bullets and things like that. So, again, working with yourself and creating those processes to help that is not just helping your business run smoothly, but it's helping your, your mental health.
Absolutely. Really, really important. Got to have those foundations in place, haven't you? Okay. So on to your third and final tip.
So, so spend time with similar-minded individuals,
Mm,
and I guess it's a little bit like the mindset and the positivity. So, whether that's working with, a coach like yourself, Nick, or identifying people that can that help to kind of lift you up. And there's certain communities. So, for example, your group, everyone can start to help each other because they've all got that kind of positive mindset. They've all got those aspirations to kind of improve and do better. So, if you can try and align yourself with those kind of businesses, it fills me with horror now to think back when I worked on my own.
mm,
The power of a good team, and a team that have got that work ethic and similarly minded are absolutely gold dust.
yeah.
And they could be your external team as well. They could be suppliers, landscapers, nurserymen, but they've perhaps all got similar aspirations and are looking to kind of make the improvements, and you can help each other. We've been recently working with Corkers, really great family business that are really
Mm,
championing the industry. And again, they've got such a great work ethic and outlook,
yeah.
and it's really nice when you can feed off people like that, because you can encourage and help each other, raise your own bars. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, grow your team with individuals that have that work ethic, so you can avoid those kind of value clashes as well.
Yeah, so important. Yeah, Ollie's been on the show and it runs a great
Yeah,
business. Really, really, really like Ollie. Yeah, so like-minded people, shared values, whether it's staff, your team, whether it's your suppliers, whether it's your clients, it's having the like-minded people that are all on the same wavelength. And I think equally as important is to avoid people that are like your energy vampires,
yeah,
to suck the life out of you. So be careful who you hang around with, be careful who you listen to. And what do they say? You'll be within about 10 grand or 10% or something of who you hang around with, financially. So aspire to the people that are more like yourself, and stay away from the naysayers, because they're energy vampires or time vampires, or don't really add any value to you. Anyway, so thank you for your three tips. We have two final questions. We are sort of up on time. So the first of those questions, as you know, is what do you think we can do to attract more people to the industry?
So I'd say publicity and TV coverage, to be honest. It would be good to create a better understanding for the public of what is involved in the industry. There are other careers where they showcase really well, kind of like a snapshot of that business. I think the Royal Navy are one where there's a video and it's just so enticing to that kind of as a career, to kind of investigate it as a career. And I feel like we could showcase the industry in a bit more of a dynamic way. It can be a cliche that you're simply digging or planting in the industry, but if you think about all of the diverse roles that are in our
Well,
industry,
unbelievable. Definitely.
and the skills that are needed, it's huge. So I just feel like if we could perhaps get that across in a more visual way, then it would help people to understand what's involved, and what an amazing industry it is.
Yeah. It's like makes me think that you want to do like some kind of GoFundMe page, get everyone in the industry to chip in, to have a TV campaign that actually gets through, on mainline,
Yeah,
media. Whether that will ever happen, who knows? But I think the TV option, just to spread the word, because obviously it works, but it's like the best kept secret, the
yeah.
industry. And
It
there's
just
so many
it,
different skills within the industry, whether it's sales,
absolutely.
marketing, accountancy, design, building. It's got all the kind of the skill set that happens to be in the landscape industry, but it doesn't
Yeah, I
seem
just
to
think we
get
could,
the
really much better sort of promote the industry that way.
yeah,
Reach a
absolutely.
big audience as well, and also would then just it would kind of value what we do more and give perhaps a more realistic impression to the kind of public about the cost of landscaping, and
Yeah.
it would be multiple wins to do something like that, really.
Yeah, some of those TV programs don't help, do they? It's like 100 grand garden. They say, "Oh, this is £5,000."
It doesn't
No, it
help at
wasn't. No, it
all.
wasn't. Anyway, we could talk about that for ages, but we won't go down that road. So finally, then, Karen, what do you do personally as a business owner to keep your knowledge going and improving? You mentioned about podcasts and books and courses and things, but anything else that you'd like to add?
I think just yeah, just brainstorming with my team as well, actually, and
Mm,
us all kind of looking for ways to improve, and sending each other bits and pieces that we find on could be social media or on podcasts. I'd say my big one at the moment is podcasts, and then I think it's fantastic. The kind of people in the industry that are showcasing, like yourself, with this kind of
mm.
podcast. That's my big one at the moment.
Yeah, yeah. So it's all out there,
You
isn't
can
it?
just
All the
learn so
information's out
much.
there. Yeah, if you just got to have a desire and a hunger to learn, and all the information's out there.
It's also
Yeah.
easy to listen to. You haven't got to kind of go on a whole day course, or as I say, I quite often go for a stomp around the block in the morning or something, and it's always a podcast. Is that more
Mm.
than music now, actually? So, because I feel like I'm multitasking as well. I'm kind of getting some exercise in, but I'm also growing, developing, learning.
Very efficient.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah. So the only podcast you need to listen to is this one because we've got all the best people on here, and
Absolutely.
everything you'll ever need to know is within each episode. So
Yeah. Thank you for doing it though, Nick. It's really good. It gives people great exposure.
yeah, it does, and I love it. I just want anything I can do to help, get those words of wisdom, and you just really sort of feed off all the years of experience between all the guests. It's only going to help people, and it's 10 minutes, bite-sized chunks. I think today's more like 12, 13, 14 minutes, but
A
hey
little
ho,
bit over time, a
even
bit
more
over
value
budget,
that you've given us today. Even more value.
Have
Anyway, Karen, I'm going to let you go on your way. Thanks for coming on. Really appreciate it. And yeah, catch up with you again very soon.
a
Thanks for your
great
time.
day. Bye.
Cheers, Karen. Take care. Bye.